liked your piece. It was for Niners Nation. It was called 3 Franchise Records That Will Last Forever. So I want to go through those. The first one was George Seifert's win percentage and record. He, with the 49ers, was 98-30. Incredible record. Now, he inherited a great team. And that team was as dominant as any that we've seen in 1989. I'd have to go back. I probably should have done this, but I didn't. He may have had at least 2 14-win seasons. I'm not sure. Maybe he may have even had a couple of 13-win seasons. But yeah, he won a lot of games. So why do you think that he's not going to be reached?
When you look at win percentage, when you're 98-30, I mean, that extrapolates to, during his time, less than 4 losses per season. 4. And he's never had less than 10 wins in any season. And he did have 2 14-win seasons, right? And obviously the context behind it is what he inherited. Okay, we're not here to argue that. What we're here to argue is what's going to stand and what won't. This is going to stand forever, because when you look at parity, when you look at NFL standing not for long, salary cap, all of these things, players not sustaining the level of time that usually is seen, right, with these teams, 98-30, someone may surpass that win total, but nobody will surpass that winning percentage. I mean, out of 128 games, you won 98 games. I do not see how that's going to be broken. Love Kyle Shanahan, but he had an uphill climb when he started, and he just broke 500. And he's an amazing coach, and I think he may be the next one that we speak about when we talk about great coaches. But just to be able to come out of the gates and win a Super Bowl 14, 13, 14, win another Super Bowl 13, 14, 12 wins, 10 wins, 11 wins every single year seems almost impossible based on the way that the league is going and how close the league is with parity.
Yeah, and he's such a nice guy. Last year, I wrote a piece for 49ers Web Zone on why Roger Craig deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. And I got to interview some of Roger's teammates, and I got to interview George Seifert, and he was so nice.
Wow.
Very giving of his time, and even, when we finished, took time to ask me about myself personally and how I became a 49ers fan. And so I really think a lot of George Seifert. And I do remember that when Walsh retired, I remember hearing some of the players say that they were more motivated in 1989 to win that Super Bowl than they were before, because they wanted to prove they could do it without Walsh. And so I think that doesn't say anything. I mean, that says a lot about Walsh in a positive way, but they wanted to escape his shadow. And unfortunately, man, George Seifert, Steve Young had to get the monkey of Joe Montana off his back. But Seifert, I don't know if he ever got the Walsh monkey off his back. Even when he won his Super Bowl in '94, he still was, it seemed like the fan base never really embraced him like they did Walsh.
Yeah, I think it's for all of those things that we talked about, right? A lot of the, oh, well, he inherited this team and Walsh built this. And I think that's very fair. But at the same time, I don't think you're underestimating how hard it is to keep that group together, motivated. And I think it just goes to show you, from what you were saying about the team being motivated under Seifert more, that these guys hear everything and they're aware of what's going on. And I think that's really cool as well, too. It's always nice to find out that the people that played for your favorite team or coached your favorite team are nice people, and that they're giving of their time and they still want to talk ball. I think that's a really cool story that you just passed along. But I do think that it does speak to this fan base is very smart. And I think they understand everything. They can contextualize. Well, in '88, you bring in Seifert. A lot of 49er fans probably say, well, I could have coached that team. Well, I understand the sentiment, but probably not. And I think that underplays how well Seifert was able to coach his team year after year.
Yeah. Your second one was Jerry Rice's 22 receiving touchdowns. That's receiving. That's not total touchdowns. 22 receiving touchdowns in 1987. That was the strike-shortened season. That was in 12 games. Yeah, nobody's going to do that.
No chance. I mean, Randy Moss took 16 games to get that 23rd touchdown, and he was in the last game that he got it. Absolutely impossible. I mean, if you loaded up Madden right now and you had a creative player and you tried to score 22 touchdowns in 12 games, 23 touchdowns with a rushing touchdown in 12 games, it probably wouldn't let you do it unless you were playing on absolute rookie. Yeah, Jerry Rice, this is why he's the greatest. This is not only a franchise record that will never fall. This is something that you'll never see ever again. And I thought this was pretty easy. I tried to stay away from just doing Jerry Rice because you can just do all his franchise records. But this one stands above the rest. The fact that we crowned Randy Moss as the most receiving touchdowns in the season. But, man, what if Jerry Rice would have had 4 more games? Do you think that Randy Moss would have even had a chance? So, yeah, right. I mean, for my favorite player, this one was the easy one, and I think this is one that will never be touched ever.
Yeah, not to mention that 1987 was a different time. That was a run-focused NFL where they could maul receivers at the line of scrimmage. Now they can't even touch them. You can't even breathe on them. And so not taking anything away from Randy Moss, but yeah, so impressive that Rice did that in 1987. The third thing was Frank Gore's career 49ers rushing yards. He rushed for 11,073 yards. Incredible career. And yeah, that's probably not going to be broken either.
Yeah, I mean, it's more about, first of all, Frank Gore coming in with all these health concerns when he's drafted, and then literally becoming the staple of durability. Yeah. It's just, we talk so much about running backs, using them for 4 or 5 years on their first contract and not paying them a second contract. And you kind of see the pitfalls of all of those things. We can go through the names, like Ezekiel Elliott comes to mind right now. And that now he's not even employed right now, unfortunately. Derrick Henry is probably somebody that's next for this to happen. You have to play your entire career for the 49ers. You have to play 9 years, and you have to be able to stay healthy this entire time to beat Frank Gore. I just don't think that it happens, especially right now in this era of Kyle Shanahan being able to find guys in the later rounds, undrafted free agents. And he just now traded for a back that is a premier back, but Christian McCaffrey is going to have to play for a while to break this one. And he's already got the track record with the Carolina Panthers. So, yeah, I don't think this one happens. And it's just a testament to Frank Gore's durability and his accountability. And another thing, during this time that he ran for all these yards, it wasn't a secret what the 49ers were trying to do. They weren't necessarily trying to fake you out. They were going to run Frank Gore 100 times a game pretty much, and you still couldn't stop him. I think this is something that won't be broken.